Hey there guys, this is Silent Myst, and welcome back to Minecraft. Today we are going to be working on a bunch of things, but first of all, let me just say this beforehand, I am using a different microphone. I actually got a new microphone as sort of a backup microphone, but when I compared it to my other microphone, I think it sounds a little bit better. So, if you're wondering what microphone I have the M Audio Producer USB microphone. I found it on TechWoot for like 40 bucks, so I was just like, sweet, a decent microphone for a really low price. I might as well just nab it and use it as a backup in case my MXL 990 dies. But then I plugged it in and did a couple of tests, and it really does sound just as good, if not a little bit better than the other one, so I might switch them out. I'm going to need your feedback on this. But yeah, we're back from Katsukon. I recorded so many videos before Katsukon, and now they are all gone. This video will be going up tomorrow, I hope, and, well, time to share my experiences. So, let's see, to the people that I met at Katsukon, if you're watching this, hi there, I had a blast with you all, it was fun. And then to the special person who I'll be mentioning later on, hi there. And then specifically to Zelda, the Zelda that I met, hey, that was fun. Fun times. But yeah, we're back here, and I don't think... Oh god, phone going off. I don't think that I've recorded since I started my last plans. I recorded like a half of an episode, but I had to actually cut that because of other plans that were going to happen at the same time. But yeah, we're going to be working on a couple of things in this part. First of all, let me just show you what I've done in my time of absence. I've done a ton of enchanting. I've got 3 sets of this armor. I'm actually not wearing it right now. I'm just wearing these feather falling protection boots because I made a bunch of these. Because that armor, this stuff dies really quickly. So I just spent a couple hours at the end farm just doing nothing but enchants while watching videos. And yeah, I also did a little bit of mining and moved some of my stuff back from the other base. So we got another portal right here. I'm not sure if I showed this to you guys yet. It's been about a week since I've recorded, a little bit longer than that. I'm a little bit out of it, but that goes back to my old base. I'll be making that look a little bit prettier in the future. But yeah, let's talk about Katsukon. So, it was a blast. Like, I went alone, and at first I was a little hesitant that I was going to be going alone because I was worried that it wasn't going to be that much fun. Oh, was I wrong. It was beyond a blast. It was ridiculously amazing, and I've got plenty of stories to tell. But before I tell them, let me just tell you what we're going to be working on in this part. So, if we go on over here, I have this picture that's actually from Age of Empires. Age of the Empires, Age of Empires. Let me just open it so I have, yeah, Age of Empires, not Age of the Empires, that has, like, sort of a port over here, and I'm going to try and make something similar to that. So I started laying this cobblestone wall down in the last part that never will see the light of day because, well, it was an accident that, well, yeah, because Legendary popped up and I had to record Legendary because you guys need Legendary all the time because Legendary is fun. So I remember I told you guys that I don't want to be flattening. I don't want to flatten out stuff too much because it'll probably end up making things look bad, but I think right here we're going to need to do a little bit of flattening just to get the desired effect. So this is going to be 5 tall, not 4 tall. Going to need to add another block. Oh, yeah, one last thing before I go on my stories. We are on week 07A, the snapshots, and there are frame rate issues from what I can tell. I'm hoping that you guys aren't going to really notice it, or it's going to be noticeable at all. But yeah, there are frame rate issues, at least on my end. It does seem a little stuttery. I am locked in at a nice 60 FPS, but still it does feel a little jittery. But yeah, story time. So, Katsukon, let's start from day 1, and I'm going to be jumping around a little bit here and there because I would like to save some parts of the story for later, save the better parts of the stories for last, and yeah, so let's start off Thursday evening. I get into DC, fly in. Oh man, that was a long day because, well, airport security confiscated my toothpaste, and I was very sad because, well, it was toothpaste, and they were just like, nope, you cannot have this. So, yeah, darn you, airport security. So I had to go get another tube of toothpaste just so I, would have nice smelling breath. So then I get into my hotel, check in, and oh man, I did not get a hotel in a very good place. It was definitely What is that area called? It was near DC. I think it was in Maryland. Don't remember. It was Oxon Hill. And it wasn't exactly the nicest of places. The hotel itself was okay, but I mean, it was a 1.5-star hotel, so it could only be so good. But yeah, so get in, check into the hotel, and then it's just like, okay, tomorrow is still far times away. It's like 7 o'clock. I'm not going to go to sleep yet. I just went out to McDonald's, withdrew a little bit of money from an ATM that I found because I think I only had like $150 in cash and wanted a little bit more for the convention. So I withdrew a little bit, and yeah, man. So I didn't stay at the actual convention center to start off with because the hotel is like $150 a night, and my hotel, I don't even know if it's a hotel, it might have been a motel, but where I stayed was like $60 a night, so it was really cheap, and I stayed there for 4 nights, and this meant that I had to commute back and forth using a taxi, which really does eat up money quite quickly, so that was the first problem. Well, that was like the first and only problem, was just commuting, just because it was slightly annoying. Let's see, let's get rid of this stuff. Got plenty of stuff that I've been moving over. So yeah, first night, sleep, managed to fall asleep at like 1 o'clock, and I fall asleep to this weird movie. I think I want to call it I want to say it's White Girls? No, I don't know. Maybe that? I don't know. It was on, and I was just like, oh, I don't want to sleep, but there's nothing that I want to do because the internet at the hotel was really bad. Like, really bad. So I had nothing to do on the internet while I was there, and instead, I just watched some TV. Couldn't even play that much Minecraft because, yeah, the ping was awful, and yeah, it was just generally very bad. So, day 1 at the convention. Let's see, how do I, oh god, I've forgotten how I started the convention off. Oh, I don't have a pickaxe on me. So day 1, how did I start? How did I start day 1? I think I went to the Pokemon meetup first. Yeah, that sounds about right. So I went to the Pokemon meetup, oh god, hitting my microphone, and met a couple people there. And this is where I met my first couple of friends at the convention, one of which I'm still in contact with. The other one, I didn't get any of his contact information, so I guess I'll just have to wait to see him at another convention. But so we become friends very quickly, and these stupid buttons. And so we play Pokemon, and Yuki, his name's Yuki, he was a pretty cool guy. Japanese guy. No, he was Filipino and Japanese, so he called himself Jalapeno, which was very, very funny. So we played Pokemon a lot, and then I got into 2 Pokemon battles, each of which took about 2 hours, because we got into a deadlock where his Pokemon, or we were doing 2v2 battles because those are quite a bit of fun, but the deadlock was pretty much, he had a Pokemon that knew no attacks, and, well, no physical attacks or attacks that did damage. Instead, he was just there to, like, set up and stuff. And I had no moves that could affect him. And my teammate didn't have any moves that could have damaged his Pokemon. So, I had a Breloom out, it was my last Pokemon, and it was stuck using Focus Punch, because, not stuck, the only attack that it knew, the only offensive attack it knew was Focus Punch. And I just couldn't do any damage to the Sableye that he had out, and every time my partner did damage to the Sableye, it just recovered, and it was not fun times. Luckily, we forgot to turn off Wander Launcher, so after a while, we were just like, wait, we can use a Max Revive, and that ended the battle. The other 2-hour-long battle was stuck between my Skarmory and Shuckle. I couldn't do enough damage to the Shuckle, or any damage to the Shuckle, and he couldn't do any damage to the Skarmory, and we could just recover up any lost health after a while. So yeah, those were a couple of very long-lasting battles, and then, yeah, Yuki and we became good friends, and I had someone to hang out with for the majority of the convention. And now comes to the very, very touching part of my convention story. So, I wanted to go to the formal ball, so I don't know how to dance, so I had to go to the formal ball lessons, and, ooh, voice crack. I think I might be coming down with something, so if I sound a little strange, please excuse that, but, so I'm standing in line waiting for the formal ball dance lessons, and this Asian guy walks up to me, points at my tie, and pretty much tells me that I'm doing it, that tie was tied incorrectly. And I was just like, oh yeah, I know, I really don't know how to tie it. And so we got talking, and then he offered to fix my tie, so he took it off and showed me how to tie it. And I was just like, oh, thanks, you're pretty cool, though I was a little confused at why this person approached me and started critiquing my tie. So at the same time, we're talking, and then suddenly this kind of overweight, bald fellow comes over, and this Asian guy just stares at him. I'm just like, oh, is he someone important? And this guy is just like, oh yeah, he's a really famous voice actor. And I'm just like, oh, I wouldn't know. And then he's just like, I would, because I'm a voice actor. And then I just jaw dropped. I was just like, wait a minute, are you Rokuro? And then I'm just like expecting who the hell's Rokuro? But no, instead he's just like, how the heck do you know my name? I'm just like, I'm true Rokuro. So I met Rokuro. I don't know what he looks like, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't know what I look like. And yeah, we met each other, and then neither of us had a dance partner, so we looked at each other and we're just like, yep, you're ready to get bromantic. So we had to dance with one another. It was great. And fun times. And now I'm going to skip over the formal ball, because that's what I'm going to save for last. If you guys want to hear about that, you're going to have to watch the entire video. Aren't I just a terrible person? So I'm building a retaining wall right here, if you didn't know, and I need to go sleep. So skipping to about midnight that day. Oh yeah, that's like taking out 6 hours of the day. But skipping to midnight, so around midnight is when all the 18+ panels... No, wait, I can't say that first. First I have to tell the background. So I met this guy at ballroom dance. I met a bunch of people at the practice, and so this one guy, he had one of those glass spheres that you can like move around and it looks like it's levitating. I can't remember what they're called for the life of me, but he had one of those, and it caught my attention, so I was just like, hey, that's pretty cool. And so we got to talking for a little while, and so now comes the part with the 18+ panels. So I was wandering around, and I was looking for Rokuro, and he said he was like in the cosplay burlesque panel, and I couldn't actually find that panel. And for a second there, I thought he meant that he was at the Cosplay Deviants panel. And so I now know what Cosplay Deviants is. I didn't before, but I do now. So I walk in, and I see that guy on stage, and I'm just like, oh, he's on stage. I wonder what he's talking about. And then it quickly dawns on me, oh my god, I conversed with a porn star for a decent period of time. Yep. It was a little strange, a little awkward, but there aren't any buts to that. It's just weird. I don't even know how to react to that. So 1 o'clock, I couldn't get a bus back, so I had to get a taxi back, which was a little annoying and, of course, a little expensive, but not too terrible. So I got a taxi back, get back at like 2, and fell asleep. So, day 2, I spent the majority of the day hanging out with Yuki, going around. He likes taking pictures, so he had like a really nice camera. Well, not a really. He had a. Oh dang it! I can't remember the camera that he had. I think it was some Canon camera, a Canon or Nikon. Oh yeah, the T3i or the T2i, maybe the T2i. That sounds about right. So we were walking around. He was taking pictures, and I was looking for someone that was cosplaying as Ponyo. You'll understand the significance of that later on. But I couldn't find the Ponyo cosplayer. And so, too bad, so sad. So now, yeah, I spent the majority of Saturday just wandering around, didn't really go to too many panels, but Saturday night going into Sunday from like midnight to 4, I went to the rave, and so I'm not in shape in the very least, and 2 days of walking around at a convention really tired me out, and so about an hour into the rave, my legs just sort of went numb, and it must have just been like my body was just like, he's not gonna stop anytime soon, so I'll just make this easy. So my legs, they're all like not in pain anymore, so I was just like, sweet, time to start raving. So I spent the next 3 hours hopping around and dancing like you do at a rave, and oh, was that a bad idea. My legs were very mad at me afterwards. It was just like, come on, I stopped the pain for a little while. That meant that you were supposed to stop, not continue. But no, I continued, and the rave was an absolute blast. I met a Hamtaro at the rave. It was just like this guy that had a Hamtaro hoodie, and he was a pretty cool guy. I brought Yuki to the rave because we were just wandering around and we wanted something to do, so we were at the rave together for a little while, and let's see. I met the guy that I played Pokemon with also I met, and he's a pretty funny guy. A very funny guy. He's an interesting person, to say the very least. Yeah, and then that ended Saturday. I got back to the hotel at like 5. Oh my god, so late, but so much fun. Completely worth it. So let's see, what else? Yeah, I was gonna stay at the convention center overnight, but, 5 hours of raving, you smell bad, and I needed a shower, so I went back and took a shower, and then fell asleep for 2 hours and went back to the convention. So then Sunday happened, and Sunday is always the very sad day of the convention because that's when everyone has to leave, and no one wants to leave the convention because it's just like a 3-day-long high of excitement, adrenaline, and all of that crazy stuff. And then you just realize, oh god, I have to reassimilate with normal people now. That's not going to go over too well. So, yeah, I was sad leaving the convention center. PCD. Everyone who's been to a convention that really enjoys conventions knows what PCD is. And yeah, the convention ended, and then I didn't end up leaving the convention center till like 5, even though I left around 6, even though the last panel ended at like 4:30. And this is the day when I hung out with Zelda. Hi there, Zelda. You are a fantastic Zelda cosplayer. Really made the last part of the convention quite enjoyable, having someone to hang out with, because I went to a Legend of Zelda panel, and I ended up winning this really nice water painting. Is that what you use the watercolor paints of Link that was meant to emulate like stained glass, and it looks really nice. So I got to meet a Zelda and a Link. They were very nicely cosplaying, and yeah, and that's what happened. And now we're gonna go back and talk about the important parts. So, oh man, I'm not sure how much of this I am or I should share. So, during the ball, yeah, the formal ball, I really wanted to go to the formal ball because I felt like it was going to be a blast, and oh man, was it a blast. So I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to get into the formal ball because I left my shoes at home, like my good shoes. I had a nice, not really a suit, but more of a jacket and tie on, but apparently the dress code was like really strict, and they're just like, yeah, you need to have nice dressy shoes along with that. And I was just like, oh god, I forgot my nice dressy shoes. Luckily, I was, what I realized that I needed to do was, as I was walking in, they like do a brief glance at you. I was just like, maintain eye contact with them and just walk on in like a confident champion. And that's what I did, and they didn't notice it, and I was just like, yes! So, starts, and I'm with Rokro. He got someone to dance with at ballroom practice. I don't remember what she was cosplaying as, but yeah, he was with someone else, and I was just wandering around, all awkward and whatnot. And so, yeah, I wasn't gonna ask anyone to dance. Like, I slowly started to realize, ooh, I'm a bit too awkward to do this. And then luckily, someone asked me to dance, and I was just like, oh, well, thank you, you're helping me break the ice. And with everyone that I danced with, I immediately started off with, yeah, I hope you don't know how to dance, because I don't either. And luckily, none of the people that I danced with knew how to dance. So we had an awkward, fun time. So finished dancing with the first person, and then the guy, not Yuki, but the other guy that I met at the Pokemon meets, I found him at the ball, and he was just like, okay, so we're gonna go ask someone. And so we went together to ask someone, and I was just like, okay, this makes it a lot easier to ask someone if you have someone else there asking the other person, because if you have like 2 people, you don't want to ask one of them to dance, because if you ask one of them to dance, then you leave the other person to be all awkward and alone. But we found 2 people, and we were just like, okay, I'm gonna go for that one, you go for that one. So that worked out very well. Was the only person that I asked to dance, and yeah, fun dance. And then the third person. So I was like walking around when suddenly this really short and cute person comes up from behind me, taps my back, and she's just like, would you like to dance? And that memory will forever be burned in my head now. So yeah, we danced. We had a lot of fun together afterwards. We ended up hanging out for like the rest of the day, and that was like the highlight of the convention, because just had finally found someone that I could like hang out with for the entire convention, and she had a couple of friends with her, and got to know a bunch of really cool people, and then I got to know her. So I'll save more of that story for a later time, because yeah. Save more of the story for later. I mean, nothing bad happened, or good, I guess, if you look at it that way. Phone! What are you doing? Step! No, I'm just gonna leave it at that. So, for now, we had a lot of fun together, and then I later came to learn that she watched my videos beforehand, like, out of... when we were, after the convention, we traded, like, contact information because we wanted to stay in touch, because we were just such great buds. And so, like, the day after I get back to New Jersey, she's just like, wait a second, you're Silent Myst, aren't you? And I'm just like, I don't think I told her this, so yes. Then turns out she watched my videos, and I was just like, oh, well... That got a little, that's a little awkward because, I mean, it's fine being appreciated by everyone, but when you, like, know someone, and then they're just like, I watch your videos, it's just like, oh, let's not talk about that, please. So, yeah, that was an absolute blast. I'm really happy that I went to Katsukon. I'm actually really happy that I went alone, because if I went with, like, a group of friends, I would not have socialized a lot. But now that I went with a group of friends, I was forced to socialize a lot, and I had a lot of fun in doing so. So I'm really looking forward to going to other conventions now. We have PAX coming up in... Let's see. When is PAX? PAX is next month. PAX is next month, then Anime Boston is in May, then Otakon is in August, I believe. Anime Expo is in June, so I have, like, a convention a month over the next few months, and then I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do because I do not want to go 6 months without going to a convention again. So yeah, I'll save the rest of the story with... Oh yeah, that was the Ponyo cosplayer. She cosplayed as Ponyo, except on the second day she cosplayed as a Power Ranger, so I wasn't able to easily find her, and I didn't know that, so... Oh, I ran out of dirt. So this retaining wall, it's making some progress. We're slowly building it up. I'm gonna need a lot more dirt. I should ask people for donations of dirt, because we've been, like, trading a bunch of stuff as of lately, since we have no... I don't know. Since we're working on revamping the Nether Hub, we're actually, like, working on it now. I might show that off in the next episode, might make a journey down to my old base to pick some stuff up. But, let's see. Yeah, I think that about covers it. So... That was Katsukon, a very brief explanation of Katsukon. Oh god, that isn't going to start a fire, is it? I sure hope not. Because I vaguely remember that that things now cause fires. Things cause fires, yes, that makes sense. So yeah, that was a very brief explanation of Katsukon. I'm going to go to sleep right now, end off the day. So I hope that you enjoyed this part, guys. I certainly had a lot of fun making it. Tell me what you think about my microphone, if it sounds... Oh, excuse me, if it sounds better, if it sounds worse, if you prefer the old one. But I'm going to use this one for a couple of parts, just because I need to record a bunch of stuff today. And I really do like how this one sounds, so we're going to give this one a chance. If it does sound good, I'll have to unplug my old setup. And yeah, that'll be kind of saddening, because that setup, it's been through a lot. And I honestly did not purchase this microphone because I wanted it to replace my old one. If I wanted to do that, I would have purchased the Roland R20... The R26? The R20. I want to say it's the R26. But that thing's expensive. Really expensive. That's like a $500 microphone. Yeah, I'm not getting that anytime soon, am I? Nope. But yeah, like I said, I do hope you enjoyed this part. And once again, to all the people who I met, if you're watching this, hello there. I had an absolute blast with you all. And yeah, that is all for now. I will see you all next time. Farewell.